Well, it wasn't much. I was just wanted to execute a good bend and don't do too much in the stretch.
At just 21, he did something no one saw coming, and he's only getting started. There was no headline hype, no warning, just a Jamaican sprinter stepping onto the track in Tokyo with quiet confidence and leaving everyone stunned. Who is he, and how did he just pull that off so easily? Bryan Levell lit up the 200-meter heats at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, clocking an astonishing 19.84 seconds. That alone would have made headlines, but the way he did it, that's what set everyone talking. He didn't power through with brute force. He didn't look like he was straining. In fact, it almost looked too easy. Levell glided through the curve and opened up down the home straight like a man on cruise control, leaving the field behind. It was the fastest time of the round, and it looked like he had more to give. For the commentators in the booth and the fans in the stands, it was a moment of realization. Jamaica might have found its next great sprint star. His time of 19.84 seconds wasn't just about speed, it was about timing. The 200-meter is a notoriously tricky event, demanding a balance between explosive start, curve control, and finishing drive. Levell executed each phase to near perfection. The Tokyo track, often considered one of the fastest in the world, added to the drama. But it wasn't the surface that made the difference, it was the mindset. In his lane, Levell looked like he'd done this 100 times before, even though it was his first major senior final. That blend of composure and aggression is what truly caught the eye. Born on December 23, 2003, Levell grew up in Frankfield, Jamaica, and attended Edwin Allen High, a school renowned more for its girls' sprinting dominance. But he carved out his own lane early, showing promise in both the 100 meters and 200 meters before making his name on the junior circuit. He helped Jamaica claim silver medals in the 4x100 meters at both the 2021 and 2022 World U20 Championships. In 2022, he also swept gold at the Carifta Games in the 200 meters and 2 relay events. But it wasn't always smooth. In 2023, Levell battled injury, a major setback that could have derailed his momentum. Instead, he turned professional and began training under coach Shanicki Osborne in Kingston, steadily rebuilding his form. Since then, his trajectory has been steep. In 2024, Levell won the Jamaican national title in the 200 meters with a personal best of 19.97. He cracked 10 seconds in the 100 meters the same year, clocking 9.98 in the semis before finishing 4th in the final. By 2025, he was on another level. He also holds a personal best of 19.69 in the 200 meters, recorded earlier this season in Budapest. That time alone places him among the top 10 fastest men ever over the half-lap distance. Levell's rapid improvements over a short span suggest that his current peak might just be the beginning. Coaches close to his camp have noted that his training cycles were geared toward building power without compromising form. A balance that's rare among young sprinters who often lean too heavily into one area. His ability to stay injury-free through the 2025 season is another critical factor in his success so far. It's not just raw speed, it's a well-engineered progression. Coming into the World Championships, expectations for Levell were growing, but no one expected this. In his 200-meter heat, he lined up alongside emerging stars like Australia's Gout and made it look like a practice run. His 19.84 not only led all qualifiers, but also set the tone for the semifinals. He didn't need a personal best to make an impression. The manner in which he ran was enough. Levell barely reacted at the finish. No chest thump, no wild celebration, just a glance at the clock and a quiet nod. It was a professional, polished execution, rare for someone his age, especially on a global stage. Running fast is one thing, doing it with ease is another. But doing it at 21, in your first major senior championship, with poise and control, that's what separates Bryan Levell. There's no need to exaggerate the moment. Even Usain Bolt didn't run sub-20 seconds in a world championship heat at that age. Levell's time was real, legal, and clean, a mark that now puts him in elite company. And while comparisons to Bolt are inevitable, Levell isn't trying to be the next anyone. He's carving out his own identity, with times, not talk. Just in case anyone thought the heat was a fluke, Levell came back in the semifinals and dropped a blazing 19.78. Once again, it looked clean and smooth. No panic, no wasted motion. This was no longer about qualifying. This was about positioning, and Levell positioned himself as the clear threat to win it all. He'll go into the final as the top seed. Since the retirement of Bolt, Blake, and Powell, Jamaica has searched for its next male sprint icon. The women's team has remained dominant, but the men's side needed a new spark. Bryan Levell might be it. He doesn't have the flashy persona or pre-race antics. He doesn't need them. His races speak loud enough. Back home, the buzz is growing. Jamaicans know greatness when they see it, and Levell's performances in Tokyo are starting to look like the beginning of something bigger. Levell isn't a one-hit wonder. His range is elite, from sub-10 in the 100 meters to sub-20 in the 200 meters. He's already run some of the fastest times in the world this year, and his best may still be ahead of him. He's also versatile on the team stage. At the 2025 World Relays, he anchored Jamaica's mixed relay team to silver, showing that he can shine in any role he's given. His career is still young, but the foundation is strong. With the right support, training, and mindset, he could be Jamaica's next global star, not just for a moment, but for years to come. All eyes now turn to the 200-meter final. Can Levell convert his dominant rounds into a medal? Can he go even faster when it counts most? If he does, it will mark a major turning point, not just for him, but for Jamaican sprinting as a whole. Whether he takes gold or not, one thing is clear. Bryan Levell is no longer just a rising talent. He's arrived. And he's not done yet. Bryan Levell didn't need a world record or a viral moment to make history. He needed just 19.84 seconds, executed with quiet precision, to shake up the sprinting world. In a sport where hype often overshadows performance, Bryan Levell let his spikes do the talking. His performance in Tokyo wasn't just a fast time, it was a signal to the world. The next chapter in Jamaican sprinting is underway, and Levell isn't asking for the spotlight. He's earning it, one powerful stride at a time.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's been like a long process. Like this time last year, I was at World Juniors, so coming out here in my first open outdoor season is amazing, and I'm really excited to be out there running against the best in the world.
Nobody expected a 17-year-old to arrive at the World Championships already holding a national record, but Gout isn't like anyone else. Calm under pressure and fast beyond belief, the Australian sprint prodigy is stepping onto the global stage with serious momentum and something to prove. Gout's road to Tokyo has been nothing short of remarkable. The 17-year-old sprint sensation first gained attention after dominating junior and state-level competitions in Australia. With blistering speed and maturity well beyond his years, he didn't just make noise, he broke records. Earlier this year, he clocked an astonishing 20.02 seconds at the Golden Spike meet in Ostrava, setting a new Australian national record in the 200 meters. Now, he's preparing to make his senior international debut at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Despite being the youngest in the field, Gout enters with one of the top times recorded by any Australian ever. While many of his rivals are in their 20s, Gout remains undaunted, focused, and determined to make every round count. As he steps onto the track at Japan National Stadium, the anticipation is real. He's not just a teenager with potential anymore, he's a national record holder representing Australia on one of the biggest stages in the sport. Whether he advances to the final or not, his presence in Tokyo is already historic. And for a 17-year-old still finishing school, this is only the beginning. The world had just witnessed a glimpse of greatness. The 200-meter sprint is unforgiving. Every millisecond counts. But for Gout, 20.02 seconds was not the finish line. It was just the beginning. He had already recorded wind-assisted runs faster than this, including a jaw-dropping 19.84 seconds in Perth. Though not legal for record purposes due to the tailwind, that performance hinted at what was to come. His goal: to become the first Australian in history to officially dip below the 20-second barrier. Being able to run under 20 seconds is a great achievement, he told the media. When you get under 20, you know you can achieve more. Running 19 means you're up there for sure. Ambitious? Definitely. But unrealistic? Not even close. At these championships, Gout knows exactly who he's chasing. Names like Noah Lyles, Kenneth Bednarek, and Letziel Tobogo dominate the sprinting world. Lyles, the reigning Olympic 100-meter champion and 200-meter bronze medalist, is a full decade older than Gout, but that age gap doesn't intimidate him. It inspires him. What makes Gout's debut so impressive is the context. Every finalist in the 200 meters at the Paris Olympics was at least 20 years old. 6 of them were 24 or older. Gout? He's still in high school preparing for exams while preparing to race the fastest men in the world. While many fans expected him to compete in the 100 meters too, Gout and his coaching team made a deliberate choice. They focused exclusively on the 200 meters, skipping the 100 meters at the national championships earlier this year. The reason? The 200 meter suits his strengths, especially his powerful finishing kick. The added distance gives him the time to hit top speed, where he truly shines. In his upcoming heat, Gout has avoided sprinting giants like Lyles, Bednarek, and Tebogo, who were drawn into other groups, but his race still features tough competition, including Zimbabwe's Makana Kaishe Charamba, 19.92 PB, and Jamaica's Bryan Levell, 19.69 PB, both of whom have broken 20 seconds this season. To reach the semifinals, he'll need to finish in the top 3 of his heat or be among the next 6 fastest overall. The pressure is real, but so is his potential. Usain Bolt knows what it takes to make the leap from junior phenom to world beater, and according to the Jamaican legend, the transition isn't always smooth, but Gout is proving to be the exception. At 17, Bolt ran 20.13 seconds. A year later, he dipped under 20 for the first time. Gout? He's already run 20.02. You do the math. There's something brewing here, a spark that could ignite into greatness. Gout has the numbers, the mindset, and now the stage. Let's put things in perspective. Had Gout run his current PB of 20.02 at the Paris Olympics, he would have finished equal 5th. That's just 0.56 seconds off the winner, Letsail Tebogo, and 0.32 seconds behind Noah Lyles. Let that sink in. A 17-year-old schoolboy was just half a second away from Olympic gold pace. And he's still developing. He hasn't even peaked. It's been a long time since Australia had a sprint star of this caliber. Not since Kathy Freeman's glory days has the nation been this invested in a track athlete. Gout is already drawing comparisons to Freeman, though he's the first to shrug off the pressure. "I'm not trying to put too much pressure on myself," he said, "just enough to go out there and run very fast." That level-headedness might be his most dangerous weapon. Off the track, there's more to Gout's story than times and medals. He was born in Ipswich, Queensland on December 29, 2007, the third of 7 children in a family of South Sudanese heritage. His parents, Bona and Monica, fled South Sudan via Egypt in 2006. Early in his life, he played competitive football, soccer, but shifted focus to sprinting around year 7 after a school carnival performance caught attention. His schooling at Ipswich Grammar has been central, simultaneously balancing being a top-tier athlete and a dedicated student. He's in year 12, preparing for his final exams, even as he competes on the world's greatest stages. His coach, Di Shepherd, discovered him when he was about 12. She rapidly pulled him out of minimal training into serious sprint work. By age 14, Gout was already breaking national U16 records in both 100 meters, 10.57 seconds, and 200 meters, and winning sprint doubles in state meets. Also important, Gout has a legal 400-meter personal best, 46.20 seconds, showing his strength over longer sprints too. These broader skills help his speed endurance in the 200 meters, especially during rounds in championship meets. The semifinals are just around the corner, and while the level of competition will only intensify, Gout is embracing the moment. Should he advance from his heat, he'll have a shot at competing in the semifinals on Thursday and potentially the final on Friday night. No Australian man has reached a 200-meter final at the World Championships or Olympics since Patrick Johnson back in 2005. For Gout, even progressing to the semifinals would be a historic milestone, especially at just 17 years old. But whether he makes the final or not, Gout has already made a major impact. He's not just fast for his age, he's already a national record holder. His 20.02-second run earlier this year in Ostrava isn't a hopeful sign of future greatness. It's proof he's already competing at an elite level. With a clear mindset, strong coaching, and a country rallying behind him, Gout is shaping up to be Australia's most exciting sprint talent in decades. He's not chasing hype. He's building something real. He might not take home gold in Tokyo, but what he has on his side is even more powerful: momentum, vision, and years of potential ahead. At 17, Gout didn't just break a record. He's redefining what Australia can expect from its next generation of track stars.
Menya moving away from him, Morizzi in the headband, a battle between these two, and Gout working so hard to get to him, and he gets there. Gout takes it by a metre.
This 17-year-old kid from Australia just became the fastest teenager on the planet, and now he's about to face the world's best sprinters for the first time. While most high school seniors are worried about prom and graduation, Gout is skipping class to compete at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Let's back up for a second. If you haven't heard of Gout yet, you're about to. This kid isn't just fast, he's rewriting the record books while juggling homework and exams. Born to Sudanese parents who moved to Australia in 2005, Gout has become the most exciting thing to happen to Australian track and field in decades. Just a few months ago in the Czech Republic, Gout lined up for his first senior race outside Australia at the Ostrava Golden Spike meet. He was competing against grown men who trained full-time while he was still attending Ipswich Grammar School. The gun went off and Gout found himself trailing Cuba's Rainier Mena as they entered the home straight. Then something special happened. Gout unleashed a burst of speed that left everyone watching in shock. He flew past Mena and crossed the line in 20.02 seconds, breaking his own Australian record by 0.02 of a second. After the race, with reporters surrounding him, Gout kept it simple. "I feel good. New personal best, new national record in my first European race," he told them with the calm confidence of someone twice his age. But here's what makes this even more incredible. That 20.02 wasn't just a personal best. It was faster than Usain Bolt ran when he first raced at that same meet back in 2006. Bolt clocked 20.28 seconds, and we all know what happened next. 3 Olympic golds in the 200 meters and a world record that still stands today. The comparisons to Bolt aren't just about times. Watch Gout run and you'll see the same tall frame, the same smooth stride, the same way he seems to glide over the track. Even their career paths are eerily similar. Gout has already broken the same junior world records that Bolt once held. Now, Australia has officially announced their team for the World Championships in Tokyo, and Gout is on it. At just 17 years old, he'll be making his senior debut on the biggest stage in track and field outside the Olympics. The announcement has sent the entire country into a frenzy. To understand just how big this is, you need to know what Gout has done to Australian athletics. Last year, nobody outside track circles had heard his name. Today, he can't leave his house without getting mobbed by fans. When he ran at a small local meet called the Stawell Gift on Easter weekend, 6,000 people showed up, double the usual crowd. He didn't even make the final, but nobody cared. Then came the Maury Plant meet in Melbourne. Gout was scheduled to run the 200 meters at Lakeside Stadium, and something unprecedented happened. 10,000 people bought tickets. It was the first sellout for a one-day athletics meet in Australia in over 20 years. People were driving from across the country just to watch a teenager run for 20 seconds. The media attention has been overwhelming. 14 Australian journalists have been given credentials for the World Championships, more than double the number who covered the last championships in Hungary. Both Channel 9 and SBS are broadcasting the event, creating an unprecedented situation where 2 major networks are covering the same athletics competition. Bruce McAvaney, Australia's legendary sports commentator, has been covering athletics for decades. When he talks about Gout, you can hear the excitement in his voice. McAvaney said this recently: "He may be 17, but I think it's possible for him to reach the 200-meter final in Tokyo, which would be an extraordinary achievement at his age. Even Usain Bolt couldn't do that." That's the thing that makes Gout so special. When Bolt went to his first Olympics as an 18-year-old in Athens 2004, he didn't even get out of his heat. Most teenage sprinters take years to develop the strength and technique to compete with the world's best. Gout is doing it while still in high school. His coach is Di Shepherd, a 60-year-old woman who used to work in the uniform shop at Gout's school. She's not a former Olympic champion or a famous track coach. She's a straight-talking disciplinarian who believes in hard work and doesn't sugarcoat anything.